See all this? This is what I call real power. YungJunko's finally got his golden egg, baby. Every Star Wars on VHS. Bitch! Yo, owning all these Star Wars VHS tapes is coarse, rough, irritating, and they're gonna make me so rich. Yo, these things gotta be worth so much money, like hundreds. Okay, guys. Come on, really, how much are they worth now? You're not joshing me? This isn't a josh? Okay, guys, I really thought I was gonna be rich, and I took out a lot of loans, and I owe a lot of money to some really bad people. So if you could please donate to my Patreon, and Raid Shadow Legends, if you're watching this video, sir, please sponsor me so I don't die. Okay, thank you. Okay, now that that's out of the way, today we're gonna be looking at every single Star Wars release ever and their history. And I'm talking only the theatrical releases. No Ewok cartoon, no droids, no holiday special bootlegs, just the main theatrical releases. And maybe if you're good, Daddy might include some bonuses too. We'll see. Okay, alright, step one, as they say. Let's rewind to a time sometime and before, also the past, because it's VHS and we're gonna put it in reverse! To 1977, when Star Wars was first released. Now, back then, watching a movie at home was quite a luxury. Star Wars wouldn't get its first home media release for quite some time. It's a stark contrast to today, where we can watch pretty much whatever we want, anywhere we want to.
VHS tapes up to 4 hours of sports, movie specials on one cassette.
Like today, you can watch DreamWorks Shark Tale on a Game Boy Advance, and then you can project that to an entire city. So back then, if you wanted to watch Star Wars again, you either had to go to the theater whenever it was playing, and if it wasn't, you had to do this really gross thing that only old people do, and it's called waiting.
And all over the country, Star Wars fans have been waiting in line for tickets to tomorrow's opening of Return of the Jedi, to be followed by an avalanche of new merchandise to feed their heroic fantasy.
You stupid iPhone generation, Gen Z Fortnite babies. You wanna watch 40-year-old virgin, hot new release comedy with Steve Carell? It's gonna cost you $49.99 US. Available holiday 2005 at Circuit City, RIP! So for about 5 years after its release, there wasn't a way to watch Star Wars at home. The closest thing we got were these Super 8 reels, which you could project, and they would contain short clips from the movie. But they were in black and white, and even if you managed to get all of these reels, they only count for like 40 minutes of the actual movie in total, so it's a far cry from experiencing the actual film. These were for like the die-hard fans, you know, the ones who get asked who their heroes are and they answer Max Rebo. That's not a diss, by the way, he's my hero too. So, it wouldn't be until 1982 that Star Wars would find its way on VHS as part of what was called the 20th Century Fox Video Rental Library, which came in these clamshell cases and were only available for rental. Now at the time, VHSs and VCRs, they were still luxury items, they were costly, it wasn't expected you would own one. So you would rent the player and rent the movie, but of course, with a movie as popular as Star Wars, it would only be a matter of time before these rental copies, found their ways into people's homes. But I'm pretty sure that's what's called against the law. But what you probably didn't know about me is I'm what you call a pretty bad dude. I shouldn't be on this. It says right here I shouldn't be on this tape. It's purely rental tape. But I know people. I know things. I went to a little website down what the kids call the darknet. I got this for like $40, homeskin. You feel me? What's good, play brother? So because this version of the film was only printed as part of a video rental series, finding a copy nowadays can be pretty hard to find, so it's worth something. I might make some money off this one, but can you please still donate to my Patreon? Rents due. Thank you. So, a little fun fact, even though this is the first release of Star Wars, it's not exactly what people saw in theaters in 1977. Contrary to popular belief, there are some changes, like the notorious A New Hope subtitle that got added to the opening crawl. Eventually, the original trilogy did get released separately, available for standard purchase on VHS through CBS Fox Video. These copies of the movies, while they had the theatrical artwork on the cover, they're not my favorite personally. It's just a little too cluttered with the credits at the bottom and those red labels on the corners. A lot of people do consider these the classics, so if you can find them, they're pretty cool, as they were technically the first VHS releases of the original trilogy that can be legally purchased, so thank God you can still live a righteous life and own a copy of Star Wars to watch at home. Next up is my personal favorite. In 1990, the original trilogy got re-released on VHS, but this time the covers are just a beautiful artwork. Now, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Originally, these were sold separately, but in 1992, they were compiled into a single box set for the 15th anniversary. Stylistically, it really encompasses the spirit of the saga. If you take off the sleeve, the box has some stills from the movies, as well as a gatefold with information about each film and their Academy Awards. They're really going for a celebratory kind of feel here, and it works. The exterior of the box also has a message from George Lucas himself, and it reads, 15 years ago, I set out to make a film for a generation growing up without fairy tales. Star Wars was my own elaborate fantasy, but its popularity has gone beyond anything even I had imagined. In years to come, I hope that your children and your children's children will enjoy experiencing the saga as much as I have. It's a pretty nice message, and it's a bit of a departure from the usual attitude Lucas has regarding these films. Here, he actually seems pretty content with them. There's no sign here that he wants to add any changes. Any major changes, that is. There is still some very minor audio mixing alterations, but for the most part, these are pretty much untouched. In my opinion, this is the definitive Star Wars VHS release, but we still have some more to go. Just a few years later, in 1995, the original trilogy would be released yet again, largely unaltered, for the last time. And they knew about it. Even the commercials for this box set boasted that, yep, get it now. This is the last time you'll be able to hear Yub Nub.
The original Star Wars trilogy on video. One last time.
And spoiler alert, they were right. On VHS, this would be the last time that these movies got released in their original versions, devoid of any major alterations. This release was actually the first one I was exposed to, and if we're just focusing on the packaging itself, it's not my favorite. The vibrance and the energy of the original posters got traded for these awkward profiles. They don't capture the excitement of Star Wars to me. They look kind of awkward. The choices for each cover are kind of interesting too. A New Hope is okay, pretty simple enough. Darth Vader, Death Star, I like it. Out of this release, this is the best one. Empire just features some random stormtrooper. I mean, if you weren't familiar with these movies, you'd be like, oh, yep. That guy, he's important. He's gonna do big things, I tell you. Is that the guy on the cover? Is that him? Oh my god, he's been shot! Why? Why is nobody doing anything? Return of the Jedi is where things get awkward. I know Yoda's already kind of like a goofy looking character, but he looks so awkward here. He looks like he's taking a college ID photo. In Return of the Jedi, the only thing Yoda does is return to his bed to go die. He was like, yeah, I lied to you. Bye. Oh, Star Wars is over? Good job, everybody. Yay! The box set itself contains yet another message from Lucas, this time reading, the appeal of Star Wars has gone beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I am pleased that for the final video release of Star Wars in its original version, we can present it with the best sound and picture quality yet available thanks to
SnowTrack's digital mastering.
In the years to come, I hope your children and your children's children will enjoy not only this trilogy, but also the adventures yet to come in the continually unfolding Star Wars universe. This message itself pretty much acts as a dividing line between two different eras of Star Wars, one being the original trilogy and their mostly original versions, and the other being the special editions and the prequels. I think that's kind of cool that Lucas alluded to the prequel trilogy here, but also of note is that this message basically tells us that this release of the original versions was very much a calculated move. This man was playing 4D holo chess while we were busy watching the Looney Tunes play basketball. So at this point, 1995, production on the special editions were already well underway, and Lucas himself had begun drafting the outline for the Phantom Menace.
Well, it's you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, and Mrs. Anakin Skywalker.
One can only imagine a young Obi-Wan Kenobi flashing his lightsaber. And think of the possibilities of learning how Luke Skywalker's father, Anakin, turned from Jedi Knight to the evil Darth Vader.
Thanks, Leonard. So the big question is when. George told us he'll start the screenplay on part 1 within 6 months, but before production can begin, he has to oversee a 4th Indiana Jones.
So, in 1997, we finally got all the special editions, which of course added a bunch of changes. You can call them controversial. I never owned the first editions of these ones, and as a kid, oh my god, did they confuse me. These were the versions I always found airing on TV, and I would catch them on, and I'd think, wait, what? Why doesn't my tape have Java? I really thought my copy was damaged or something. It wasn't until that these movies kept being changed that I was like, okay, call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure Hayden Christensen, who was like 2 years old at the time, wasn't actually on set for Return of the Jedi. Personally, as far as these changes go, I can take them or leave them. I grew up watching some of them, so I don't mind them too much. The actual packaging of the special edition VHS is simplistically beautiful. It's got almost this regal looking design coming in a copper and silver variant for the widescreen and full screen edition. I own the full screen, it just has this very nice official look to it. The covers themselves are pretty great too. They feature new Struzan posters made for this release. For the 20th anniversary of Star Wars, these designs really do feel like a celebration of a bunch of classics. But now, on to the prequels. Uh-oh, hot button topic alert. Prequels, uh-oh, are they good or are they bad? Which one? 1999 saw the release of The Phantom Menace, and it was polarizing to say the least. I already gave a lot of my thoughts on this movie in my Phantom Menace 20th anniversary video, so go check that out if you haven't, but it wasn't until 2000 that Phantom Menace was released exclusively on VHS. Now, this made quite a few fans pretty angry, as many were expecting a DVD release as well, and Lucasfilm kind of left fans in the dark. According to them, VHS was good enough. Who needs discs?
With your family on video.
We haven't much time.
Star Wars, Episode 1, the one to own.
It would take a whole nother year before Phantom Menace finally came out on DVD, and it wasn't until 2002 that we got Attack of the Clones on both formats simultaneously for the first time. I'm fine with the designs on the packaging for the prequels, although I do wish they used the Struzan artwork. In 2000, the special editions were even reprinted to match the spines of the prequels, which is wonderful, don't get me wrong, but the actual covers for these things kinda suck. A New Hope and Return of the Jedi are in white, while Empire and the prequels are in black. Why not just stay consistent and use black for all of them? Or white for the originals and black for the prequels, you know, like the yin yang, all that balance of the force talk, yada yada. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just a guy who can't even have nice things, apparently. So, in 2005, to make my life even more of a living hell, we got Revenge of the Sith on DVD, but no VHS. So, what happened? Just a few years prior, The Phantom Menace wasn't even released on DVD because Lucas didn't see the point. Now, suddenly the tune has changed. Suddenly a VHS release isn't even seen as a worthwhile option. By 2005, VHS releases were almost completely phased out, but Revenge of the Sith was the first big movie I remember not to get a VHS release. And by 2006, the format was just about obsolete here in America. Many stores stopped carrying them, and for things like Disney movies, you had to put in a special order online and be part of their exclusive movie club. Things like Chicken Little got a VHS release, but it wasn't widely distributed at all. Even Cars got a VHS release, and that thing runs for thousands of dollars, so, if any of you are watching and you find a copy of Cars on VHS, please get it to me in the next 30 seconds or so, because there's some, scary people knocking on my door right now. Thank you. For Star Wars, though, sadly, there's always going to be that 3 missing there on the shelf. I guess it's no big deal. It's just going to be one of those things that just, you know, bothers me forever. Unless you make your own. I'm such a bad dude. I'm a tough cookie. VHS is back on the menu. What's the use? So that's pretty much it. That covers the Star Wars movies on VHS. It ends on a pretty sad note, but you know, you guys were good, you behaved, you kept your hands to yourself, so I got some extras! I collect a lot of VHS tapes, so I come across a lot of cool stuff, because, you know, I got connections. I got everything from Tupac's last interview on VHS to Timothy the Tooth, his last interview. You know, I got a whole bunch of movies for the kiddies out there watching this. I also got Beauty and the Beast, Uncolored, Uncircumcised, Work in Progress. What you know about that? Murder Mystery VHS Video Party Game. I got Just a Murder on VHS tape. No party, no mystery, just murder. Oh, what, you think your girl ain't gonna leave you cause you got Store Little 3 on your pretty small penis? Nah, son, I got some bad news. I'm what's called an alpha mailer. Maybe get yourself a copy of Store Little 3 Call of the Wild on VHS and you might have an idea what that is. But what about Star Wars extras? I got Thumb Wars on VHS. This was a short parody of Star Wars created by Steve Odenkirk, the guy who made Jimmy Neutron. It's very funny, very well crafted for a low budget short film. Actually the first in a series of Thumb parody films, highly recommended. Maybe I'll do a video review about it pretty soon. Maybe thumb that subscribe button, you feel me? Also, I got George Lucas in Love, a fan film parody released in 1998 of Shakespeare in Love. It follows a young George Lucas struggling to write the first Star Wars before finding all his inspirations, and it's very well done, a really good fan film. I assume this VHS copy was for festivals or for sale directly on the creator's website, but this movie itself is on YouTube if you're trying to watch it. If you're a VHS purist like me who needs to see it in 2040p poo-poo quality, you can't go wrong with this one.
Yes, I thought it was quite rude as well.
Okay, I got one last thing, one last big boy surprise for you guys. Let me paint a picture. You know, a lot of times I'll take a girl back to my mom's crib, you know, we go up to my room and she sees my Star Wars on VHS collection. She says, last dude I hooked up with, he had the holiday special. She starts shit testing me and everything. And you know, I get it, girls, you know, they want a guy that can keep them safe, you know, provide a sense of security. But what could suggest more mass and security than 2 copies of Star Wars Phantom Menace Collector's Edition, widescreen? You pull these out, she's not gonna want you to pull out, okay? You know, Blockbuster Video, a company that once directly controlled the world economy, once valued this at $29.99 US. But you know, I played the long con. I got these about $1 each. Now, I don't know about you, but that's called trickle-down Reaganomics. This edition, it's got this really cool art book of episode 1, a film strip from the movie, and it's in this really thick, girthy package, and it really ties the room together when you have 2 of these bad boys. I'm just gonna end the video on this note. I'm assuming you're taking off your clothes as we speak. This has been Star Wars on VHS, a 20-year history that objectively peaked with this. I appreciate you. Okay, bye.